thing right now.
Rise and shine, it's a beautiful day. I am alright.
About a third of the building has been blown away.
This is the bridge to the white light.
Our very freedom came under attack in a series of deliberate and deadly terrorist acts.
And at that point, we were taken for another round of questioning, this time related to our allegedly being members of Mossad.
It's crazy evil.
What the fuck is up, people? Welcome to another No Way Jose podcast. This is the Morning Dump. I am your host, Jose Galison. Someone says, should I cry that you're 6 minutes late like a faggot-ass pussy? Keep killing it, Jose. Appreciate it, brother. I am a little bit late. I don't know. I don't know. It's whatever. For these streams, being like 5 minutes late or so, no big whoop. Plus, I was just kind of still just sitting there. I mean, just like, dude, just so you guys understand the process of this, like the way this stream works. I mean, as I've told you, I do bookmark stuff, but then like how I come in before these, and then like, I don't know, maybe 30 minutes to an hour, I'll initially go through antiwar.com, see what stories are worthwhile in there, and then from there, I'll go through my bookmark folder. And you said I don't give a shit. And you're like, but where was I even going with that? What was the point? The idea of being late. Which I know you don't care, but I'm just saying, just impressing upon you the craziness of today is what I'm doing. Because then I go through, and then I just especially the bookmark folder, I go bring up a tab. I just kind of, I have like an army of tabs right here. And then I'll fucking, with days like today, when, I don't know, major fucking world events happen, and then it's just like I can't, the problem is like while I'm sitting here waiting for the show to start, I'm like sitting here on Twitter because I'm going on Twitter to set up the show. But then I'm incidentally, as I'm on Twitter, being like, oh my God, here's this huge news. 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 So, yeah. But we'll go through all these. That's what I'm saying. That's when you do, if anything, I say like typically when I'm like just like 10, 15 minutes late, not like hours late, it's because there's some shit. There's some wild shit going on. And that's what happened today. So, yeah, and I know you guys weren't upset. I'm just explaining so you guys understand my process and what all I do for you, the amount of work, the crazy amount of work I put in for you. No, I'm just kidding, obviously. As I've explained to you guys maybe before the show, it's almost like my research outlet and my hangout outlet with you guys. So I bookmark stuff. We go through this together. This is how I keep myself up to date on things. This is how I keep myself honest and keep myself actually informed on the sort of stuff that someone that operates in my space should probably be informed on. And you guys are to come along for the ride with me. And so I'm glad to have you guys here. So yeah, someone Hustle Bones says baby dick suckers back at it again. They sure as shit are. So let's say hi to some people. Okay, good morning, Hustle Bones. Good morning, Sloppy Toppy. Good morning, Eddie Grimm. Good morning, Bug Fights. Good morning, Tom33. You guys talk about racism. That's always fun. Me and my wife had quite the racist conversation this morning. It was pretty good. We were just railing on Indian people, talking about just the worst. Just generally speaking, obviously there are individual Indians that are great, but as a race, collectively speaking, they are pretty god fucking awful. Let's be real. Let's be real. I mean, who's gonna sit here and cape for Indians except for Indians? So yeah. Let's scroll through. Who else we got? We got some. Man, I see a bunch of y'all going Chemical General. Gerald Hall. What is up, people? What is up? What is up? Here, Joseph says, enjoy your format, even if you are an N. Well, I'm glad you do. I always was kind of I've been worried this was been a little bit too of a clusterfuck. But I just kind of, if it's just for the usefulness of this, like I said, this keeps me true. Even if it was like I was just getting 20 viewers or like, on each individual video and that was it. Be a little bit embarrassing, I guess. Maybe I would stop after a while, but it'd still be useful. So I'm glad to have you guys here. So at least you don't make me look silly while I do this. You can make it look like I'm not talking to myself, so that's great. But man, we have some stuff to go through. Yeah. Trying to think. I was debating even doing like a real quick drama addressing, but I just don't even. It's man, we're literally talking about World War III. Like, do I really need to address it? I guess just real quick. I mean, go take a leak if you don't care about it. But yeah, more shit happened. I'm not even gonna say what happened. You guys can go look into it if you want. And so I just kind of want to clarify my opinion. I feel like I was slightly magnanimous yesterday. For those who are unaware of what I'm talking about, if you are unaware of what I'm talking about, don't worry about it. But I feel like I was slightly magnanimous yesterday, and I felt like there was a spirit of perhaps forgiveness and maybe, I don't know, improvement and I don't know, things improving, essentially, is where I was hoping. That's a spirit I felt yesterday, and I just got to say that fell apart. So just so those who are kind of keeping track of where things are, is the gang getting back together? I think there was a small glimmer of hope I had yesterday that perhaps, I mean, even if we didn't get together, we could have some varying level of friendship or business relationships or something. And no, so I mean, there's been stuff. I know, like I said, I was magnanimous about David yesterday. I still think the apology was an improvement. It's still great, but I will just say I also saw things yesterday that showed, I don't think he really learned his lesson, and he still moves like a faggot. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, apology's good, so that's cool. But but he's still, I know, still kind of got that bitch in him. I don't know what to say, and kind of. As every day goes on, I kind of lose less ability to find good faith for the other friends in this as well. So it is what it is. I mean, I just kind of wanted to, because the only reason I really even felt like I kind of need to mention it is because I did give that, I said, like, where would I sit him in my head yesterday? And I feel like it's important because it's kind of like, that's somewhat my word. Like, if someone came to me and honestly like, hey, what's up with this guy? I'm about to do X, Y, Z. He's involved. What are your thoughts? And I told him, like, hey, just kind of this is where I'm at. And you know what, now, I mean, while I still am like, I still think the apology was improvement, I'm just kind of like, if anyone had to honestly ask me, I'd have to be like, yeah, this is a person you should avoid doing business with, and frankly, I would just generally avoid. So I don't know. It is what it is. So whatever. But let's move on from that. And yeah, so it is what it is. I mean, if those want to know, all it was is Owen Benjamin stirring the shit and just kind of see things, and you kind of okay, all right, I see how it is. You're still being dishonorable between him and the whole group, really. So, I mean, I don't even really want to get into Owen because I don't even care to argue with him. I mean, really, he's just making it about himself is kind of what this has all been. So, whatever. So, cool. I don't care to argue with Owen Benjamin. If he wants to drag me for saying that, that's fine. I do think he is probably a dishonorable individual. I guess I don't know that for sure, but I definitely feel that way about the other two. So, there you go. So, just that's, I don't really see any reason to even talk about anything further. I will say, for those of you who did not ask for a refund, I'm almost certain I will likely be in the area. So, I mean, I do live only 2 hours away anyways, so I will likely be in the area of Bro Grove. So those who didn't get refunds, whatever, I talked to Austin and a couple other people. I think we might set up some sort of live podcast or something. So, I mean, we don't plan on doing any gay thing harvesting content out of drama or anything like that, but just to kind of hang out, since I know there's going to be a lot of people that we may know in the area anyways. So, yeah, so you guys can feel free to, I mean, if any of you guys are planning on going that way, you do want to do something, hit me up. I think because of the venue change, I will actually be probably about 30 minutes or so away anyway, so it won't be right there, but I'll be fairly close nearby, so... because, I mean, for those, a lot of this is about the venue, somewhat. I mean, not really even about it. It's it's kind of a side issue, but somewhat comes from the venue change, and the venue change did cause it to have to be 45 minutes away. So, which I guess a little bit reminder for those who didn't stay on this, if you had a hotel and you never changed it, you're going to have to drive 45 minutes to the venue. So, but let's go ahead and get into... Let's go into the fucking, yeah, it's just gay. But let's get into the real actual news and put that behind us. Like I said, I feel gay even mentioning it, but hey, whatever. I just wanted to kind of, I don't know, I kind of almost gave the impression as if I was giving a clean bill of health to the rest of the world. Hey, at the very least, at least Raven particularly, hey, these are maybe, just maybe, I wouldn't necessarily be harsh to someone asking my opinion, but now I would. So it is what it is, but... not that I'm actively going to go out of my way to destroy him or anything like that. I'm just trying to say where I am. That's not my style. That's not me at all. So frankly, that's more their style. So, but whatever. Let's get into some shit. Some shit. Let me see. I'm trying to find a first place to start. Let me see. Where should we start? Let's start with actually. I think this is probably maybe one of the better ways to introduce you into what the hell happened. Is Anna Kasparian's reaction to the situation. Not that I'm some Hannah Kasparian simp. If anything, I found her generally the most of her time as a commentator. I've typically used to find her insufferable, but I'd say in the past, 5 years or so, I don't know whether it's organic or not. She's improved, but she's always, from my understanding, been pretty damn good on Israel. So here she is. So yeah, let's go and play.
Wait, what's going on? Hold on. God damn it, man. God damn it. God damn it. Israel just struck Iran.
Oh,
I know we shouldn't have interrupted like the story about Fetterman, but like
Jesus Christ. Who's recording this?
Man, what a liability that country is to the United States of America. Total liability, not an ally. Disgusting. Just as the United States was going to enter another round of diplomatic talks with Iran this weekend. Disgusting. This is, look, I don't have an article in front of me. This is Ken Klippenstein, who I obviously trust, posting on X.
Israel attacked Iran on Friday morning.
Here we
I guess
go.
it's Friday over there.
Breaking news. All right. Guys, obviously this just broke. Please forgive me if anything changes from what I'm about to share with you. Obviously, this is a developing story. So according to CNN, Israel has launched what it called preemptive strikes, much like the United States doing preemptive strikes on Iraq, against Iran in this case. And a state of emergency has been declared in Israel. I hope the Israeli civilians enjoy the fear that they're now living in because of their belligerent government carrying out strikes in Iran. Unbelievable, unbelievable. And this is according to the country's defense minister, Israel Katz, well-known genocider, someone who we should not be considered allies of, but alas, our country is beholden to the great government of Israel. This is his statement, following the state of Israel's preemptive strike against Iran, a missile and drone attack against the state of Israel and its civilian population is expected in the immediate future. Then why did you guys do it?
Guys, I mean, we're going to get into it, but this is really just this is one of these things that the more you think about it, the more you're like, Jesus. It's just wild. We're in a very wild situation. Shit's frankly, and I think as I kind of go through the situation more and more, it'd just be, what a fucking shameful, fucking cucked out situation that we find ourselves in. And I say we, I don't mean we, I mean the Trump administration. I put out a tweet earlier. Not that it was an original idea. I was actually quote tweeting Dave DeCamp about kind of impeaching Trump. And I mean, I'm on what? I have like 11,000 followers. I don't have a huge account or something, and it's been out like an hour, something like already 300 likes, something crazy. I'm not even some big Twitter person, so like those 11,000, that's not like an account that like does regular viral stuff. So like, I mean, there's differences when you look at. You can see your 11,000 follower account that can never get more than 5 likes, and then you can see 11,000 follower account that knocks out bangers all the time. But usually the ones that knock out bangers are smaller, usually going to have a lot of substance. But yeah, I mean, point being, just kind of get a feel for it, kind of the feeling in the air. And also I feel like people identify me more with the right. So it's like, I know just that feeling that, this is such a cucked out faggoty fucking situation. And I mean, I guess, like I said, I'm kind of, I guess, bearing the lead in that sense. Like we'll get into the specifics on who did what at what time and this and that, and the posturing of, you know, who's responsible and whatever. But frankly, it kind of, you'll see, I think, you know, I mean, there's some questions on a little bit of who did what, who's taking responsibility to some degree, but frankly, kind of not. And we kind of look like complete and utter fucking scumbags. And like, this completely demeans us on the world stage, which I guess, like I said, I mean, we'll get into it. I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's go ahead and finish this clip.
Iranian state media outlet IRNA reported repeated explosions could be heard in Tehran, which is the capital of Iran, of course. Let's go to a live shot of Waz with his adorable cat. Just so I don't lose my mind.
Sorry, guys. I'm reading the New York Times in real time here.
I think Trump knew they were going to do it today. I would be shocked if there isn't any coordination with the United States. We don't know for sure yet, obviously.
Yep, that's the big question, and that is kind of, I guess, what I was alluding to a little bit, which we will get into. And frankly, as things sit right now, which I will elucidate in good time, doesn't look good. And I mean this from like public statements we're saying. So like even our current official position, not good. Let's keep going.
Developing story, but I would be shocked. So congratulations, America. We have now entered another Middle Eastern war on behalf of Israel. Congratulations.
Which I guess that's sort of also the question. Did we? But as we will get into, I think it's kind of clear we probably did. Although I guess there is some chance that if maybe we all fucking bitch enough. But I mean, like, I don't know. Because it's like, what is this guy going to do? Not get reelected? Like, I mean, let's keep going.
So pathetic. It's absolutely pathetic. How many trillions of dollars is this going to suck out of our resources? How many innocent people are going to die by escalating a ridiculous war, another ridiculous war in the Middle East? I don't know. I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else there is left to say.
Yep, see all you guys in chat. Of course, Zion Dom is in on it. Yeah. Which, by the way, I do see my little internet thingy occasionally showing maybe I might be coming down. So I don't know if I'm coming over good for you guys. I did want to just give a little bit of a sorry. I know I told you guys I got a new router, so I should be getting better internet. But I've just, you guys know, a lot of shit's been going on. I just haven't had the time. I'm also tech retarded, so it's like I really want to make sure I have a good set of time set out, and also like not near a stream, because I'm also like, part of me is worried that I'm like fuck it up, and then I'm gonna have to wait for the internet guy to come, and I won't have internet for like 5 days. So it's kind of like in my head, I'm like, I can have shittier internet now, or I can risk it and fuck it all up, and maybe have no internet for days just to have better internet for a little while. Yeah, let's keep going through these chats. Trump kissed the wall before the attack. Did he? Did he go over to the wall before? I mean, I guess he did do a Middle East tour, but I thought he didn't go to Israel, actually. I thought that was like one of the significant things, because that is actually going to be a key point of conversation today. Was this rift between Trump and Netanyahu ever legit to begin with? Because that's become a thing that's being parroted around by, I guess what is perceived to be possibly official accounts that are anonymously doing it. So we're seeing these reports of like officials within blah, 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 like anonymous, that this was some big fucking ruse. And like, as I've said, like even with the official narrative, even with where we're at now, which we will get into, the narrative is not good. All right, so here's Mel, village crazy lady. She says, let me get this straight. Trump set up nuclear talks for Sunday, and Israel just said, fuck your talks. We do what we want, and bombed Iran. Which, keep in mind, that's if you give this the most good faith, or one of the most good faith and faith interpretations you possibly could. She then follows it up with, if Trump doesn't cut all ties and leave them to fend for themselves, his legacy and reputation are done. This was a slap in the face. Once again, getting ahead of myself, he did not. He did not. Very much the opposite. I mean, so I do think his legacy and reputation are done. But you know what? I will say, like all the people were saying that, did decide to vote for him and thought, it really is that big of a deal to vote. Voting's such an important thing to do. Really so much different. It's such a big deal that we got Trump instead of Kamala Harris. But you know what? I'm super glad that we did this, because at least we don't have World War III, and we managed to stop that pesky Ukraine-Russia war, right? That thing's not happening more, right? Fucking hate to say a toe-to-so, but a toe-to-so. I don't know. I still, as I said, from the beginning, even before Trump got elected, I said from the jump, I think there's probably it's pretty likely, if anything, I probably kind of leaned that way, that there's probably a good chance that we actually would be, if we run the counterfactual, which obviously we can't. It's impossible to do so to be fair. But I think if we had, if we ran the counterfactual with Kamala in office, I think we'd be under a better situation, frankly. Either a very, very similar or better. I mean, I don't think it would be worse. And that's just having a realistic view, in my opinion, of how the political machinery works. That's not an endorsement of Kamala. I mean, she's a dumb bitch. Her policies were god-awful. She's frankly, about as far away from my positions on things as one could be. but I understand how politics works and how movements can act. And I don't know. I think we probably would have been in a better place. So, and just getting proved more and more right by the day. So here is a message from Marco Rubio that he put out, basically kind of like rates around the time, like basically right after the attack. So this is kind of give you an idea of the breakdown. So a lot of us were kind of like, okay, cool. This was what I'm about to read to you was, in my opinion, probably the best possible, tact to take at the time. So this is a statement from Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who would have thought he would be the good guy, I guess, of the group here? I mean, although not to say this is necessarily him, let's be real, it's just a statement. It says, tonight, Israel took unilateral action against Iran. So keep in mind the unilateral there. We are not involved in strikes against Iran, and our top priority is protecting American forces in the region. Israel advised us that they believe this action was necessary for its self-defense. President Trump and the administration have taken all necessary steps to protect our forces and remain in close contact with our regional partners. Let me be clear, Iran should not target U.S. interests or personnel. So seems like a very strong signaling. We had nothing to do with this. Don't fuck with us. So, yeah, just bear that in mind. So let's take a moment to roll through the chat. Spend a second. He said, he saw the photo of him with the head down the wall. I mean, yeah, he's done that before. I'm just saying it wasn't recently. So, which that was gay to begin with. Ask Cream says, the more I longer live in America, the more I want to be an expat. I don't think I'm quite there, but I get where you're coming from. It's just, it's nuts. Hey, what's up? Nice to see you back here, Tipster. I know you're over in a foreign land. What is up? So presidents don't have real power, period. Hustlebone says, yep. Iran is no real threat other than some terror attacks, and even then, that's kind of up for debate. I mean, the Iran, it's always I forget what the fucking, there's like a saying they always say, but I don't know, like the progenitor of terror or something. I forget. Like the idea that they're behind all the terror attacks over there, and there's some truth to that, sure. I mean, but I mean that can be true for damn near any country, really. So I don't feel like they're really any unique country in that way, particularly. Especially when you compare them to the other world powers that are usually shitting on them. So, yeah, I agree. There is no real threat. And then the other thing is they always point to the nuke, which is fucking ridiculous. I literally just before this, just kind of, I guess out of frustration, also just kind of, because I've never really, I try not to be a guy who engages in hate, typically. I don't know, it's funny I say that, but like I was one of the people who used to go really hard back there. I think maybe I've just settled down over the years a little bit. But I just find it funny I did shit on Phil Labonte because he said some dumb shit about this before, because on the nuke side of things, because he was one of the people who said, well, I'm glad I'm glad we didn't attack them, but I'm glad we're what did he say? We're glad we're there's less of a chance of a nuke, and it's like hey, yeah, so what did I say? I said something along the lines of like, oh yeah, from a fucking a country from what is it? Is a country that's supposedly had nuke for decades. Or thank God, a country that supposedly had nukes decades ago, according to claims from a government that legally currently has nukes and is lying about it. Yeah, totally. And then I followed up with "You really are just that fucking stupid, are you?" So like, I don't know. I got a little bit pissy with it. I'm a little pissy on the timeline today. I don't have a lot of patience for the right wing right now. It's kind of flagrantly, kind of transparent, some of these people out there. I mean, I guess, as I just said with Phil, I did say, I guess you really are just that fucking stupid. And like there was a reason behind that, because as I just said, I guess these people are transparent. I think a lot of these people are bad actors. But I mean, I don't know. That was, like, I guess, kind of a dig to just kind of be like, okay, like, I guess like the point being like, I guess maybe you aren't some sort of bought off thing. You're just really that stupid. So that was kind of the point of that one. But yeah, it's ridiculous. We're seeing, like, on that note, let me see. We see, here we go. Here's from Radek. She shared this. We have all these fucking influencers going on and on about how these attacks are supposedly, laser tactical or whatever, which, okay, even that is the case, like this was in the heart of Iran when there was no hostilities being had and we were in the midst of negotiations. This is a belligerent act of war. and to try to come to the support of this entity, even if these were laser sharp tactical attacks or whatever the fuck you stupid influencers want to say. It's just frankly pathetic as you fucking sit here and fillet Israel for their belligerency to the rest of the world over and over and over and over again. You are the modern day neocons. So, I mean, you may not as vociferously defend their actions, but you are the ones that are running to their defense and telling about how great, how amazing they are, the very entity that is responsible for our entire neocon diversionary fucking crusade. So yeah, fuck you guys. But this is Radek saying, so they didn't need to flatten Gaza in response to Dr. Eli David, some pathetic Zionist character who says, this is how precise Israel's intelligence and execution is. Pinpointed attack eliminating head of IRGC directly in his apartment nearly 2,000 kilometers away from Israel. So here you guys can see, here is that, and perhaps, okay, sure, I guess there's something to that. But I don't know. How would you feel if this was the United States, if this was another country, and this was what, some like I guess hotel building or something in the heart of the United States, and the Secretary of Defense was just happened to be in there, and a foreign country bombed it and killed them. Let's say if even they only killed the Secretary of Defense, would we accept that as not a belligerent, insane act of war? And now you add in civilians to this. Now it is I think it's a war crime. It's just like, I took how fucking pinpoint it is. Good, cool, great. Like, it's just fucking pathetic. These people are fucking pathetic, and they can't fucking. These people cannot die out and fizzle out quick enough. Like, I don't know. I guess I haven't checked in the Tim Pools of the world yet, see where the fuck they're at, but I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and assume it's probably being a faggot about it. So we'll see. I don't know. Prove me wrong. I hope some people develop, rise to the occasion, develop some moral backbones, because it really is kind of a shit or get off the pot moment. And so I think we're really going to kind of find out. I mean, I say shit or get off the pot. I guarantee I would fucking put money on it. The Tim Pools of the world are going to find some third position here. Just we're not doing it. But look, they're responsible for this terror and this thing. And, hey, this was pinpointed. And it's like, dude, you guys are sitting here and fucking doing mental gymnastics for what are very clearly fucking war crimes. Like, there was no initiation of violence from Iran here. So, I don't know. Let's roll through the chat real quick. It's just ridiculous. Mark Newcomb, you're right. Kamala would have been better. The right would have become more extreme, and white consciousness would be unstoppable. Bingo. I mean, I don't really care so much about the white consciousness, but you're right. Like, it was like the energy that we were getting that was coalescing at the time, it stopped because of Trump. And because if you had any sort of foresight in, seeing how things are going to go, you could tell he was not going to stick to the American first fucking pathway at all. So he was going to subvert everything that had been created. It was pretty goddamn clear. I mean, yeah, his positions are better. No debate about that. But I mean, I don't know, maybe raise your thinking a little bit more than, well, that guy over there that on the right and he has positions that do be better and her positions do be bad. It's like, is that your political breakdown here? Because that's kind of like, I don't know, it came to mind like as I was kind of just shitting on Tim Pool. It's like not that I'm a Fuentes fan at all. I mean, I'm not really I'm not a hater, I guess. I find him kind of relatively funny. But I know that's one of the things that his stupid faggoty fucking rant that he went on recently about these people being Israel first or whatever. And Fuentes was a derision of that, and he pointed out this kind of the shit of like, oh, and he even fucking said not to vote for Trump. Oh, what does he fucking hate this country? No, he's just not a fucking idiot that has a higher level of thinking other than just fucking base level fucking. He do good things, she do bad. Like, fucking pathetic. Fucking pathetic. Just scrolling through chat. See what you guys say. It's painful often Phil says stupid shit. Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's insane. And it's crazy that bald fucking coward fucking leaves that idiot to run the show without him too. Not saying I'd do a better job. I mean, don't get me wrong. I am by no means... I do think I have deficiencies when it comes to my broadcasting skills. I do think I'm pretty good when it comes to content. I think, so far as like actual substance somewhat. I'm not the best, but I think I could work on presenting. But I don't even think he's a particularly good presenter or intelligent. Frankly, it's kind of. I loved his music growing up. I mean, I haven't really been particularly interested in anything he's made, recently. But yeah. But so far as a political commentator, it's kind of like, oh no, baby, what is you doing? So let's keep going. Fuck Israel, says Typester, yeah. But yeah, I want to see what alien stuff Jose has for us. Yeah, we'll get to it. Phil really is retarded, though. Exactly, that's kind of my point. It's like, I think he legitimately is just stupid. Bobo's out of here. See you, Bobo. Love you. Or, I don't know when he left. Someone said, see ya. Okay. It was him getting shit on by Horton on Timcast the other night. Was it? Okay, I didn't miss. I don't watch that show because I have better stuff to do with my time. So I get Radek's point, but yeah, the reality is that those were not just pinpoint strikes. There was a ton of destruction, civilian casualties. Oh, she was being sarcastic, obviously. I don't think, like... I mean, I don't even think she takes the position that was, like, precise. So she's kind of going, like, it's just kind of pointing out, like, you guys are flattening Gaza. Like, you are currently flattening Gaza. Like, so, like, I don't know. Pinpoint strikes. Like, okay, cool. Until what? The next fucking phase of this? And it's not. So, yeah, am I supposed to be happy that you precisely murdered some guy? Yeah, so... Scrolling through war crimes, 100%. Suddenly, Israel had a hidden drone station. Yeah, I've heard people say that. I haven't I haven't found any content myself about the drone thing. So I mean, I've seen that in the ether. I haven't looked into it yet. So, someone's saying there were multiple waves of hundreds of missiles fired into urban areas. This whole surgical strike thing is BS. Yeah, they probably found like one or two. I wouldn't even be surprised if that's not even the strike that killed the IRGC commander. That just is a strike, and they go, oh. And then now they have this plausible deniability where they can go, it's just a picture, but yeah. So, scrolling through. I'm with you, Jose, but we do not seem to be stopping them. Yeah, I agree. So, but it is what it is. This is kind of the moment. I mean, all at the very least you can do is make your disagreement known. I don't know. So, I'm not a fan of Fuentes, but I'm a fan of Fuentes existing. Yeah, exactly. So, scrolling through. Fuentes is a goat. He's calling this years ago. Perhaps he is. Like I say, I do make fun of him occasionally because he is kind of easy to make fun of in the sense that, I don't know, he's, let's be real, there are some gay vibes. But I mean, just kind of, but even then I don't lean into too much, but I don't know, every time I see things about him, it's always bad faith, typically, and then I look into it, it doesn't seem to be exactly the point, there's definitely things I don't agree with him on, but so I definitely want to call him the GOAT, but I also don't follow his stuff enough to really have a strong opinion on his stuff, but it just seems like it always seems to come back to it's everyone else is giving a false take of it, so. Is the Biden administration had libertarians on the terror list? There would have been arrests under Kamala. We've reached arrest that man. I don't agree with that at all. I don't agree with that in the tiniest bit. That sounds like scare nonsense. Frankly, I don't know where you're getting that. I mean, yeah, so they had them the terror. I feel like that's absurd to think that would have happened. It could have, I guess. I'm not saying you're wrong. I guess there's a possibility. I just frankly think that's kind of, but yeah, like I said, you can't run the counterfactual. I just think at the very least, it's kind of like the illusion of voting. It's the idea that this voting's gonna make a fucking big difference. And you're like, at the very least, at federal. As when I started the show, I was much more like political theory. So it's like, I've given my takes on this. I very much, so far as voting, I think it's generally pretty fucking useless. It's serves no fucking point generally. Doesn't do any. It's mostly just a tactic in order to make the public think that they have some sort of input. Is basically to some extent is my take on it. So. I forget where I was going with that. I totally just zoned out there. I don't know, whatever. Let's roll through the chat. I squirreled right there. There was totally a second part there, but I pulled like a Mitch Hedberg half joke there and just then forgot the punchline. So, scrolling through. Wow, they only blew up 4 floors instead of the whole building. What a pinpoint strike. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Dave said he'd regret his vote if Iran gets attacked. Oh yeah, that was my point. The voting, that voting does anything at federal, especially like the higher up that you get, like at federal level. So it's like the funny thing. It's like this complete inversion. It's this like the thing that we typically make the most big deal of is the thing that means the fucking least. Like so, the federal like presidential election. But now, like, but then the inverse is true. Like, if you have the one that, like, generally most people give zero flying fucks about, that's probably going to be, like, one of the more ones. And by that, I mean, like, the most hyper-local thing you can think of. So, and frankly, I think generally, like, you're probably just literally wasting your time. Like, I honestly, like, you know how, like, was it the Rick and Morty, that one joke or whatever, he's like, forget what he says. He's like, you're stupid, or you're an idiot, or you're something, and I can mathematically prove it. Like, that's kind of like, that's what it almost feels like with voting. It's like you could literally sit down and, like, make a mathematical formula of, like, your time and, like, put in, like, okay, what are the chances you have to make any sort of change in difference with this input? What could you be doing with this other set of time? And this is, I know everyone goes, oh, well, you can vote by mail, you can do this, you can do that, well, it's all super easy, blah 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 blah. And this is like, I don't know, giving it the most. Yeah, like, I don't know, this takes you, let's say it takes you 3 fucking minutes. Say there's some magical process in the world that there's a 3-minute process and you have all the stuff for voting done. Even then, you go, what could you have done with that 3 minutes? I could have gone and take a piss. I could have cooked some food. I could have done a million other things. Every single one of those things would have been more valuable. Unless the only things that would have been more valuable is if you were doing things that are detrimental to yourself. Like, it just makes no fucking difference. So so this whole, like, whether who did what, it's like, it's kind of beside the point. It's just, you're wasting your time, and this whole putting this energy into it kind of puts this right here. Because do you remember the over and over and over again how we were told the resounding mandate that Trump get? The mandate. What that is them flouting in your face how many people voted for him and the overwhelming amount of people that voted for him, and they are using that as grounds for their policies. So, like, that is literally, so, like, you are feeding it's literally any energy vampire shit. Stop fucking doing it. You're wasting your time. But okay, I mean, but keep doing it. I mean, I know everybody's, whenever the voting time comes back around every 4 years, it's a stupid argument. And I'm always the guy just kind of like, okay, you know my opinion. I'm not going to argue with you about it. Don't fucking care. And then they all just fucking waste their time, and then they argue about how fucking important it is and what a big deal it is. And it's like, well, I don't know. And you're like, because even you people get upset and like, well, Kamala, not that there's a lot of you, like, well, call this, all that. You're like, it just doesn't, it's such a marginal fucking difference that, like, what are we doing here? All right, let's scroll through. Trump playing the dumb peacemaker. Give me a break. He let that happen. Well, he's not going to. That's what I'm telling you. We're going to get into that. Would you acknowledge voting in New Hampshire is an exception? No, I would not. I would say what I said before. I said there is, I mean, I'm not making a silly binary here. I'm saying there's a range of utility in each action, and it's almost inversely proportional to the typical collective understanding of voting. Is my point. So yes, a New Hampshire vote is, in my opinion, is of more importance than a vote in the federal presidential election. So yeah, in that sense, but I still think it's still pretty fucking pointless. So. Yeah, I gave up voting a long time ago. It's for chicks, essentially. It's gay. It's gay as fuck, dude. It's gay. It's, you're sending a letter to the government and be like, could you guys please do this? And you know that there's millions of people doing this, and it makes no fucking difference, and you could have done something else with your time, and they're going to all fuck you anyways. It's just stupid. Have some fucking self-respect. Do something else with your time. Could have cranked my hog in 3 minutes at some 3-3. So yeah, exactly. Jose spitting facts. Yeah. Even local issues are now fixed. So yeah. All right, let's keep going. This is just ridiculous. Here's a little, oh no, this is from Benny Johnson. He says Israel's launched a preemptive strike. Preemptive. They keep saying, this is what keeps being said, preemptive strike. Preemptive to what? This is what Israel has done in its entire fucking existence. Up until its fucking, when it was instituted in 1948 with the Nakba, what was it? Something like 400,000 fucking Palestinians got displaced, and countless of them, I think 400,000 might be the murdered figure, or it might be wrong there. I forget. Either way, fucking insane. And that was a preemptive strike. 1967 was a preemptive strike. Every fucking time is a preemptive strike. So here you go. Here's a video of it. So you can see smoke coming up and stuff. At a certain point, you have to go, was it really a fucking preemptive strike? Yeah, it's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. Here's this fucking demon. Let's hear what he has to say.
So too do the brave people of Iran, and I have a message for them. Our fight is not with you. Our fight is with the brutal dictatorship that has oppressed you for 46 years. I believe that the day of your liberation is near. And when that happens, the great friendship between our two ancient peoples will flourish once again.
And that's why I'm in a 7-front war, because we're such fucking nice guys. Is it 7? I don't even know how many fronts we're on. It's ridiculous, is what it... Libya... Are they in Syria? Maybe? I don't know. But either way, I mean, at the very least, it's like... even regardless of how many fronts they are, we all know how many have toppled. I mean, what was it? The Wesley... Why am I not thinking his last name? But you guys know, the 7 countries in however many years or whatever thing. So it's like... This is literally the last one. And I think all the other ones have happened pretty much, basically. Syria's basically done. It's kind of probably on the brink of some sort of civil war, likely anyways. And even then, if the entity that's controlling it right now maintains its hold, it's still essentially probably a puppet state for Israel anyways. So it's kind of in disarray. So pretty much every other one of those 7 countries in however many years they said. I mean, they didn't make the year mark. They fucked up that. But they got the countries. I mean, they're working on Iran. So, yeah. And then we have here, this is Mel, Village Crazy Lady again. She's doing good shit. She says, the IDF is telling Israeli media that the U.S. directly coordinated with Israel for these attacks at the exact same time that the White House and State Department are claiming Israel acted on their own. So we have this statement from Marco Rubio I showed you earlier. But then we have over the Times of Israel, we have them saying that Israel is coordinating its action with the U.S. and the U.S. participated in a massive campaign to lull Iran into thinking an attack was not going to happen immediately. Which, to that, I mean, as we're, because you got to think, this was stuff that was unfolding last night. So, like, this came in, and I'm kind of somewhat trying to do it in a sort of chronological. So we got the stuff from Marco Rubio, and then we got this. And then, I mean, obviously you go, okay, like, I wouldn't be surprised, but it's also like, let's be real. That's what Israel wants. It totally makes sense. Israel wants to do everything they can to involve us in this. I think even in Netanyahu's statement, which I don't have the full one up, I think he even evokes us and even mentions something about, our steadfast support or something. I think the way he says it doesn't necessitate that it means a support for this action, but it is kind of a reminder that U.S. is a constant supporter of them, and it's kind of like, why why you're taking this time to remind the world that. So yeah, Sagar Argenti says Israel's now made a mockery of the United States. Trump said he did not want strikes ahead negotiations scheduled for tomorrow, and they did it anyways. Their attack today is deliberate sabotage and a blatant attempt to force us into war. We must resist. And then this is kind of what I've been alluding to. This is the most recent. And then this is Dave DeCamp sharing this. I think Kyle Anzalone wrote a piece on it too. And he said, as I expected, Trump didn't get dragged into anything. He should be impeached. I say 100% impeach Trump. And this is what he had to say. This is Trump's latest statement on the matter. This was, I believe, at like 9-ish or something. He said, I gave Iran chance after chance to make a deal. I told them in the strongest of words to just do it. But no matter how hard they tried, no matter how close they got, they just couldn't get it done. I told them it would be much worse than anything they anticipated or were told. The United States makes the best and most lethal military equipment anywhere in the world, by far, and that Israel has a lot of it, with much more to come. And they know how to use it. He's bragging. He's bragging about that they have our weapons. He is bragging that we support them. Certain Iranian hardliners spoke bravely, but they didn't know what was about to happen. They are all dead now, and it will only get worse. There has already been great death and destruction, but there is still time to make the slaughter with the next already planned attacks being even more brutal come to an end. So, I mean, that heavily implies to me that he knows about more planned attacks, and he knows, heavily implies he knows details about the attacks to come. Iran must make a deal before there is nothing left and save what was once known as the Iranian Empire. No more death, no more destruction. Just do it before it's late or too late. God bless you all. And I stand by it. He never should have been voted in the first place. Nick Fuentes was right. I was right. Nick Fuentes was. I think he. Okay, I guess in a sense, me and him are taking different positions because he took a position that. Actually, I don't even know. I mean, to be fair, I guess I don't know if that's specific his position. I don't know if his position was just not to vote for Trump or if it was to vote for Kamala. Because I wouldn't suggest to you to go vote for Kamala, but I would tell you, why are you wasting time, energy, and any sort of social capital whatsoever, especially if you're going to talk about later, to vote for Trump? Because you're probably going to look foolish and feel foolish later. So, and you will. And not only that, I actually think there's an argument that you are literally contributing in a very, 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 very minor, inconsequential way to things getting worse. And by that, I mean literally mandate. I couldn't come up with a more clear example how high I've been right for fucking ever about my position when it comes to, being politically involved, essentially. Everyone wants to feel like they're a big special boy and that that their political involvement is going to change the world, and that you're going to vote and you're going to cha-ching, and then you're going, damn, yeah, we have the better president. I feel so much better. Things are going to get better. No, they're not. And this isn't some black-pilled nonsense. It's just literally, coming to terms with the reality. You are voting for a puppet and wasting your time, and you are giving. And while I do agree that you are not, I know people say, oh, this is you consenting. I don't think it's technically you consenting. Maybe there's other word we need to think of here that would be more applicable. But as I kind of making the point, you're not consenting, but they are taking that energy and they are redirecting it. So you're not consenting to them doing it, but you are enabling them to some degree, I think. So enabling, maybe enabling is a better word there. So yeah, wild shit, guys. So. I guess we can kind of roll. I mean, I guess kind of covered most of it. Kind of wanted to go, through tweets, but I mean, here is some articles quickly we can go through. I mean, I probably won't read them all or maybe I will. I don't know. Israel starts bombing Iran. IRGC chief reported killed. But I did kind of want to give you guys a breakdown of kind of how the information comes out, because it is important, especially in this political game, because it is frankly, kind of faggoty high school drama shit. If you really think about it, you're like, who did what, this, that, if you're trying to keep track of it. So it is worthwhile to kind of somewhat give the chronological breakdown here. But here we go. This is from Day at the Camp. Israel starts bombing Iran. IRGC chief reported killed. Israeli military has begun bombing Iran. And this is at midnight, by the way. So an attack that could provoke a major catastrophic war in the region involving the U.S. Heavy airstrikes hit the Iranian capital Tehran, and videos show plumes of smoke rising from the city. Photos also show damaged residential buildings, and deaths of women and children have been reported. Oh, so fucking laser-like and precise. You fucking ghouls. Strikes have also hit several provinces across Iran. The IDF said that it has launched dozens of airstrikes in Iran in an attack that it said has targeting the country's civilian nuclear program. Which I haven't heard anything that if that actually went through, but I mean, I guess there's going to be a lot more news to come. I don't think I'm going to be able to do a morning dump. Fuck, man. I'm pretty sure I'm picking up a shift on Monday, which is fucking god damn it. I really wish I wasn't, because it's I know there's going to be a shitload for y'all on Monday. There's going to be a lot this weekend. I don't know, maybe I'm going to have to see if I can squeeze out something this weekend or something. It is Father's Day, so I don't know. I may just not, but yeah. All right, the IDF says launched dozens of airstrikes. Okay, I already said that. Israel has also targeted senior Iranian military officials, and Iranian reports say Hossein Salami, the commander of the IRGC, has been killed. The bombing also killed several other senior IRGC officials and nuclear scientists. So they're targeting nuclear scientists, which they've done in the past. Which the episode the thing we covered yesterday with the IAEA and how that's essentially a tool for Israel. Yeah, one of the minor points is that they have leaked Iranian nuclear scientist names before, and then subsequently they got fucking murdered by Israel. So remember, this whole deal that they're pushing. This deal for their nuclear stuff, you know who mediates that deal? That's going to be the IAEA, that entity that's clearly controlled by Israel. So it's as I kind of went to before, this is a dialectic that we're watching occur here, and then it's pretty clear that the dialectic is simply just mostly a smokescreen to give us the appearance of some sort of genuine, process occurring, as opposed to we're trying to evoke a certain reaction here. And we're controlling as many sides as possible and essentially, forcing someone into a trap. Israel dubbed the operation the Nation of Lions. The Israeli military is also warning that Iran could launch a major counterattack against Israeli territory, and so its operations against Iran could last several days. Following the state of Israel's preemptive strike against Iran, a missile and drone attack against the state of Israel and its civilian population is expected in the immediate future. All right, let's move on to the next story because I think it's just going to get into stuff we've already kind of covered. So what do we got next? We got, here we go. Official U.S.-Israeli deception gave Iran false security ahead of attack. So I think we'll probably actually read this entire one because this is kind of fucking important. And this just came out. So this is just a couple hours ago, like right before we started. This is from Kyle Anzalone. So the senior Israeli official told the Jerusalem Post that Tel Aviv and Washington worked together to convince Tehran that diplomacy was still possible after Iran was ready to attack Iran, after Israel was ready to attack Iran. Just hours before Israel's massive attack began, President Donald Trump maintained he was still committed to talks. The Israeli outlet reports the round of U.S.-Iranian nuclear negotiations scheduled for Sunday was part of a coordinated U.S.-Israeli deception aimed at lowering Iran's guard ahead of Friday's attack. In a post on Truth Social shortly before the Israeli strikes began, Trump declared that we remain committed to a diplomatic resolution to the Iran nuclear issue. My entire administration has been directed to negotiate with Iran. They could be a great country, but they first must completely give up hopes of obtaining a nuclear weapon. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Let's follow this link. I'm kind of curious when the date was. So that's 5:09. That was yesterday. Oh my, what a fucking piece of shit. I mean, okay, granted, I guess to be fair, I guess there's a small chance here that somehow he didn't. Actually, you know what? No, because we read his statement earlier. I don't even really know how we wrap our head around a way to understand this. I guess to be fair, I don't know. How did this is insane because this was at 5 o'clock, 5 p.m. Like basically roughly 6 hours later, bombs are going off in fucking Iran. And 6 hours prior, Trump makes a point to make a truth post, not tweet post, that we remain committed to a diplomatic resolution to the Iran nuclear issue. And then, I don't know, he seemed pretty ready to gloat and fucking talk about how great that all was and all our dope weapons and all that shit. I mean, I guess there is a way, maybe there's some sort of way to understand that statement as that this statement still isn't you being a fucking weaselly bitch. I don't know. Either way, you would think at the very least that you, I don't know. Frankly, this is one of those moments that, like, if this is true, this initial statement, this whole we remain committed shit, if this is true, then the follow-up tweet or whatever, tweet, truth, whatever, that he dropped should have been a, I don't know, either some sort of diplomatic response or a completely, that was not okay, we did not agree, blah, blah, like essentially like we had nothing to do with this, blah, 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 blah. Because it, I don't know, rational people would think, what the fuck? What is going on here? How are you 6 hours prior, you know, openly, if we're to take you at your word as a genuine human being, if you were openly 6 hours prior calling for diplomacy, and then our supposed ally bombs this person you're calling with diplomacy, I just don't even know how you could possibly then follow up with a belligerent statement against the person who got bombed. The person you're claiming you want diplomacy with. I don't know. I mean, nice. Yeah, all right. Let's go back to this thing. I just want to hone in on it, just kind of get a concept of the truth there. And I'm glad I did, because that makes us even all the more damning. After the Israeli attack was in progress, the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, denied the U.S. was involved. So then, you know, we had the initial one, which we went over. Barak Ravid of Axios, however, later reported that Tel Aviv was given a clear U.S. green light to start bombing, citing two unnamed Israeli officials. Sources speaking with Axios on the perceived split between Trump and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu was coordinated behind the scenes. Two Israeli officials claimed to Axios that Trump and his aides were only pretending to oppose an Israeli attack in public and didn't express opposition in private, the report explained. The goal, they say, was to convince Iran that no attack was imminent and make sure Iranians on Israel's target list wouldn't move to new locations, which is just fucking disgusting behavior. They're going to try to act like this is some amazing espionage or something that occurred and try to make it out like, look at this amazing op we pulled to take down the enemy. It's like, no, you were being a fucking piece of shit in a position where you should be acting in good faith That way you can display to the rest of the world that, hey, we are an entity in which can be interacted with in any way, shape, or form. Not someone you should run away with and want nothing to do with, aside from to keep them from, I don't know, coercing you. So yeah, I don't know. Okay, there's one from the Jerusalem Post. Okay, you get the idea though. I don't think there's anyone actually, any names that are, claiming it now. So it's just all sources. So there were more in that, but I guess we don't have to go too far into that. And we have Trump knew about Israel attacks, already throwing next ones, which I think that's kind of, I guess that's kind of what we covered already, the next ones. I would assume that was probably in his Truth Social statement. Yeah, they just do it before it's too late. Yep, that's that one. So, all right. So Iran vows proud. Okay, now we have Iran's response, which is important too. So let's get into that. Here's Iran's vows powerful response. Israeli strike. Trump urges deal. Here's the updates too. So for those who want like live updates on this, you can go to Al Jazeera, which you could probably find. I guarantee they're probably going to keep that tab up on antiwar.com too, if that's easier for you for some reason. So Israeli military continues to launch waves of strikes against Iranian military and nuclear sites as well as major cities. Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei has warned Israel that it must expect severe punishment following the crime of attacking Iran and killing several top-level military commanders and 6 nuclear scientists. Let's look at the statement here. This should bring up the statements. Give me a second. All right. Here we go. Let me see. I'm trying to find the full statement here. I had it earlier, I thought. All right. Let's read part of it. So let's just read this. It says Iran attacks Friday. All right. Let's get to his statement. The aggression has led to fears. Iranian Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei warned that Israel faces a bitter and painful fate following attack. By God's will, the powerful hand of the armed forces, the Israeli Islamic Republic will not let it go unpublished. Netanyahu said in a pre-recorded message that the strikes early on Friday were aimed at hurting Iran's nuclear infrastructure and ballistic missile factories, which sounds like they didn't even hit any of them, aside from the... It says, what has Israel attacked in Iran? Here we go. Strikes have been confirmed in the following locations: capital Tehran and military sites, city of Natanz, where explosions were reported in the main uranium enrichment facility. Okay, there we go. So they did hit some of them, I guess. The city of Tabriz, where explosions have been reported near a nuclear research center and 2 military bases. The city of Isfahan, south of Tehran, the city of Iraq, southwest of Tehran, the city of Kermanshah, west of Tehran, where an underground facility storing ballistic missiles was hit near the Iraqi border. So, yep, that's what they've hit so far. I mean, let me see. I might be able to find his statement elsewhere, more specifically. But let's take a minute, go through the chat, and I think maybe that might be all we have on Iran for now. I mean, we'll see going forward. Maybe more will come to the chat if you guys have something to say, but Jesus Christ, man. All right, let's keep going. Let's go through the chat, see what you guys have to say. What legislative victory could we achieve in New Hampshire that would turn you around in voting? I don't know. I don't really know. I don't know. I don't really have an answer for that. I mean, it's really just kind of when I get to the point, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I guess. I know there's definitely been things in the past that I haven't been impressed by them either. So I don't necessarily think. I think they might have issues too. I can't give you like a concrete this positions. I don't know. Check in with me later. See how I feel if you guys do some crazy shit. Laura Jumer is saying there's going to be a false flag in U.S. this weekend blamed on Iran to trick the goys into war. I don't think she said the last part, I would assume, JB, considering she's... But I actually kind of did mean to address that at some point, because that was something I was thinking about in my analysis with this, is that, I'd almost damn near be willing to put money on one happening at this point. So, boy, oh boy, yeah, keep your fucking eyes open, people. Keep them open. Fucking keep your head on a swivel. Do not fall for any dumb shit. Question everything. I mean, even if it's coming from your own side or people you think are good, question everything. Don't knee-jerk go to anything because, yeah, I mean, if there were ever a time for a false flag, this is the go time. So this is the moment. So we'll see. So keep an eye out, people. Scrolling through. Carmelo Anthony did a preemptive strike. Yeah, exactly. Do it or else is not real diplomacy. Exactly. Reading between the lines, Israel killed the negotiators we were dealing with. Exactly, right? Like, oh, and they are all dead. Oh, like, what kind of fucking evil statement is it? These are people you supposedly were having interactions with, and you're like, it seems as if you're gloating. And they're like, hey, look what happened. Like, I mean, like, even if you didn't, like, I don't know. Like, I don't know, to bring it back to the Tower Gang shit, like, I don't want Top or Raven to be hit with drone strikes. And if they died today and were brutally murdered, I wouldn't come in tomorrow and be like, that's fucking right. Like, oh my God, dude. What the fuck? Like, you're like, because that is a point, the good point you bring up there. It's like, these are people you have been, I mean, yeah, they're not best friends or anything, but like, these are people you have been socially interacting with in a diplomatic, supposedly in good faith, I would hope. And just, yep, they're dead. Fuck them. Jesus Christ. Yeah. Hey, bring in the next negotiator. Jeez. Here in Finland, we got a new government about a year ago, says Typester, and everything has gone to shit. Our people aren't doing so good. We aren't a civilized country anymore. I'm sorry to hear that, Typester. Many such cases. Scrolling through. Trump would never admit he can't control Benjamin. Yeah, which, I mean, he's going to look even more like a bitch. Frankly, I think this is such a bitch move. You either look like a scumbag or a bitch. And frankly, honestly, even the scumbag move is kind of a bitch move because it's like that's underhanded feminine shit. So, yeah. See what else you got to say. Scrolling. I love Jose scrolling through sound effects. Well, it feels weird to leave dead air. So, like, I don't know. And that's just kind of, like, I guess it's just how my head works. Because I do this, like, I don't know, like, in your head when you're, like, kind of, like a dead air static noise. You're like, that's, like, my internal, like, if I'm just kind of, like, I don't know, say if I'm, like, scrolling through Twitter. I don't know, that's just how I imagine. That's my sound effect, I guess. So, I think it makes sense. So, I don't know, choose a different one. I'll try that. So, yeah. Keep going. See what you say. Haha, your analogies kill me. I try. I don't know. I just have fun around here. I don't know. This is just wild. Especially, it's just this, I don't know. You almost can't believe it. We've been saying it for so long. It just seems so over the top. You're like, is it really a thing? But also, let's not forget while we're at it, these fuckers are, the fuckers are just murdering, starving people every fucking day. Every day. Here is, let's read this one. We're going to read this one fully. There's an American security contractor who unloads on the U.S.-Israeli Gaza Humanitarian Foundation. This is from Zateo. This is anonymous, but this is allegedly from one of the individuals working in the aid stuff who did not like what he saw. So let's go ahead and go into this. Says, I am one of hundreds of security contractors who have been in Gaza to facilitate aid under the new U.S.-backed Gaza Humanitarian Foundation project. And it's all bullshit. I joined what sounded like a good mission with good pay through a company called UG Solutions. We were given little information. I was told I got the job just days before we were set to depart. It was very last minute. After arriving in Washington, D.C. on May 16th, we received a slightly more detailed brief. We were going to provide security for aid sites in Gaza. It was said again and again, if you're here to get your gun on, then pack your shit and go home, because that's not what we're here for. We're here to help. I was happy with that idea. Sounds like a good man. The next day, we departed for the Middle East. Our ground included about 300 people of diverse backgrounds, including those who served in special operations military units, former infantrymen, individuals who were in the military but had never deployed, and others who did not serve in the military at all but had worked in law enforcement. Some folks seemed way too old. It seemed like the company was so short in personnel that they weren't picky about who they allowed in on this. Getting gear and equipment was difficult. They didn't have enough uniforms to go around. They didn't provide optics or scopes for our weapons, like the red dots that help you aim. Weapons themselves were a whole other thing. We were eventually each issued an AR-style rifle as well as a pistol sidearm. But no one was tested to ensure they had proper training. Some of us were also given machine guns. Okay, all right. I mean, I was at first was like a little gay and I do like care. I mean, the proper training, I don't know. Like, I mean, especially if you have guys that are like all prior And maybe you should, probably be a better idea, but to just throw the machine guns? If anyone's ever shot a machine gun, which I have, actually I shot a 3-round burst, but a 3-round burst gives you the idea. You're like, okay, this would be fucking wild. Because it does kind of get away from you. Like, fucking, like, I mean, it's like, that's why there's a 3-round burst. Like, because it is like, it's almost untenable, the concept of machine gun, unless you have some sort of like a fixed point to where it's like held in place. Because it's if you have like if you have like 3-round bursts, you're probably going to end up like a good, probably, a few inches above from where you're aiming to begin with. So now I think of it with a machine gun, like point is it's kind of, they're a little sketchy to handle. Semi-automatic, I mean, whatever. I don't think you really need too much training. So we were later issued less lethal options, pepper spray, flashbang grenades. You guessed it. No one was tested to see if they knew how to properly use them. How close to people can you throw a flashbang? Okay, now you're getting to like what the fuck kind of territory, because it's like, now these are items that are far less like if you're in these things you might have, like, I don't know, because like a gun, if you're just a good old boy, military, police, you generally have probably a good idea. But like, I don't know how to fucking use a flashbang grenade. Like my 11 years active duty military in the Air Force as a crew chief, as a mechanic, I mean, I guess I kind of knew how to shoot before, but let's say I didn't know how to shoot. They probably would have gave me something to where I was okay enough, but it never taught me how to use a flashbang, never taught me how to pepper spray. That's for damn sure. So nobody knows because nobody told us. We were talking about people who don't have access to water, and we're ready to spray them in the face with pepper spray. Why would we do that? They're just trying to get aid. We're there to give them. It doesn't make any sense. It wasn't just a lack of weapons training. Those of us with a military deployment background have cultural awareness training as well. Something that's important when trying to connect with the civilian population. But that wasn't offered to us, including those who've never deployed before we head into Gaza. And I'm not even mentioning the fact these guys were also sleep deprived. Before we deployed, we were told we were going to be working 12-hour shifts, 12 days or 4 days on, 2 days off. We have actually worked up to 20 hours a day sometimes, no days off. We were told we're operating within international law, but they never delineated what those laws or guidelines were. The only distinct guidance was that if you or those around you feel threatened, you have the authority to defend yourself. But that left a lot of gray areas. So you have guys with hardly any knowledge of the culture, no deployment experience, and are not necessarily qualified to be using the weapons they had in charge of security at aid sites in a place where we know millions are desperate for aid. What could go wrong? A lot did go wrong. Do you guys remember that video I showed you yesterday? This guy has a fucking point here. That's how that horde of people just fucking, just charging at the fucking aid like a fucking stampede. Yeah, well, let's then throw a bunch of fucking goofball fucking chuds that think they're going to be helping or looking forward to shoot at some fucking Palestinians. And here you go. So pure chaos. On my first day, the second official day of the mission, we were overrun. It was pure chaos. At the aid site's entrance gates, we had people waiting in 5 lines separated by metal fencing. 1 lane was strictly for women and children. The other 4 are all men. And they were letting people in, 5, 10, 20 at a time, whatever we could handle. It was not organized, and people were getting smushed and trampled. Eventually, there were so many people in the lanes that the gates burst. We fell back, letting people get the aid. They were never aggressive towards us. They were only trying to get aid. Aid, by the way, that consisted of flour, rice, lentils, tea bags, and noodles. Things that need water. They don't have any water, and we're not giving out water. We soon had to fall back again to a second perimeter. At that point, some personnel started firing warning shots in the air, and then we fell back once more. As we were being overrun, we were directed to push everyone out, even as they still collected items off the ground. We all got in a line and began pushing these people out. We were telling crying women trying to pick up food for their families that they had to go. They were looking at this food on the ground that they desperately needed, and they couldn't take it. It was absolutely horrific. One of the guys who was the first to fire a warning shot was also the first I saw to make physical contact with a Palestinian. Someone was stooped over, picking up supplies, and without missing a beat, the U.S. contractor pushed them to the ground. He says, the idea that the Israeli military isn't involved is bullshit, is what he says here. I was told that the Israeli military needed to clear those people out because they were going to come through. They soon showed up with tanks as some sort of security presence, but we had pushed people out by them. This idea that the Israeli military isn't involved is bullshit. They are very much involved. They have offices in our compounds. We share our radio communications with them. The higher-ups claim the Israeli military is not involved, but it feels like they're the man behind the curtain. Sure, they're not on site with us, but their snipers and tanks are just hundreds of meters away. You can hear them shooting all day. The aftermath of the chaos was just as remarkable. During those long-hour shifts, food wasn't provided. We were given a stipend to get our own groceries back in Israel, but there just wasn't much time for that, let alone to sleep. Some of our guys were eating the aid just scattered all over the site. Aid trap. One episode sticks with me. We were monitoring an empty site all day. Sometime after dark, dozens of flatbed trucks finally brought aid. The Israeli military soon radioed in that 200 to 300 civilians a couple of kilometers, less than 2 miles north, were approaching. We then observed an Israeli drone go out there. Soon thereafter, that area started getting lit up with artillery. The generous interpretation, maybe the Israelis were firing between our position and the people in order to keep them moving forward. I don't think that's the case. After all, tanks fire all day long near these aid sites. Snipers fire from what used to be a hospital. Bombs and bullets fly all day long in one direction, towards Palestinians. We know the Israeli military has been enforcing curfews in some parts of Gaza. I would not be surprised if the aid was delivered at night deliberately, given it would then draw people out, at which point they could be fired on as combatants, even though they weren't. It's very clear the Israeli military will take any opportunity available to fire. People sometimes have to travel miles to get these sites, and that means through Israeli-controlled areas. Any excuse the military can come up with to say someone is a threat, they'll take. There's not really any international media in these areas, and the West doesn't really want to believe the Palestinian media. So you get to this point where the truth itself is murky. All the while, all I've heard all day is Israeli tanks, machine guns, snipers, and bombs. But never any fire from the opposite direction. Initially, when we first started giving out aid, it was really heartening. I mean, I could cry. Palestinians were saying thank you, and I love America. That didn't last. I want to be clear. I went into this pretty open-minded. I don't have a side. I despise human suffering, and I hate that it exists. I was just hoping to be helpful, but I don't think we are. What we, these American companies and contract personnel, are doing is directly leading to more pain, suffering, and death for the Palestinians in Gaza. And this guy is anonymous, but on the off chance you hear this, thank you. Thank you for doing this. I'm sorry that you had to go through this. You clearly seem to be thinking you were trying to help, and I don't think you at all were wanting to contribute to the problem. So I'm sorry that happened to you, and thank you for speaking out. So, I guess I would wish that you'd maybe be public, but I completely understand why you wouldn't. This is, as I just pointed out, you would be speaking out against an entity that is known for assassinating its enemies. Like, to an absurd degree, frankly. So, yeah. So this is the entity that bombed Iran, that all these right-wing influencers, get ready for it, are about to find some fucking way to come to the defense. Oh, how great it is we didn't do it. Look how fucking accurate this is. Oh, how great. We're just going to completely ignore how fucking awful this makes us look. So, all right. UN General Assembly overwhelmingly votes in favor of immediate Gaza ceasefire. Thank God we finally gotten to the point of a strongly worded letter. Thursday, the UN General Assembly voted overwhelmingly in favor of a resolution that called for immediate, unconditional ceasefire in Gaza and an end to the Israeli blockade on the besieged Palestinian territory. Thank God. Maybe at this rate, fucking in 6 months to a year, we can get them to condemn this whole Iranian thing. That's great. So, anyways, I guess as this is technically positive advancement, but it's hard not to look at this jaded, given world events. So it's good. I'm kind of wild. I'm kind of blown away. I guess I don't know what actions are going to come next, politically speaking, but I'm frankly just kind of astounded. I guess astounded, but not astounded. But it's just like, as I've been kind of predicting. You look at these Western nations, these votes. Clearly, the dynamic is changing, and it's here we are being the late adopter. Whenever it comes to a new way of doing things, we are a late adopter, and that is never a good thing. We are behind the 8 ball here. We are still holding on to the old, and that old is dragging us down. And that is not the new. They are done. I don't know. I don't see how going forward the Western world, how they could come back into the good graces of the Western world in any way, shape, or form, aside from our somehow maybe being successful from our bullying. But even then, I just think we're past that. We're well past that. So I do not know what the future holds, and we are in very uncertain water. Very, very weird times. So, and yeah, I mean, they're still killing people, as I mentioned. 21 aid seekers, 103 people, Palestinian in Gaza. So yeah, still just a murder. Gonna do some more murder. That's what they do. All right, let's roll through the chat, and then we'll get into some more. I know you guys want to hear about those aliens, so let's do that. So, it's not even that disputed by even the biggest Zionists that Israel cannot outright defeat Iran. That means they need our direct involvement. Yes, exactly. So, yeah. Oh no, everyone's turning on us. So for the Gaza side, look over here, Iran, guys, Iran. I mean, as I mentioned yesterday, Iran was kind of flopping their big old dick on the table, being like, keep in mind, that's another interesting component. What is Iran going to do? Obviously, it's like, I wish they'd do nothing militarily, frankly, because it's, I don't know, I'm torn, because it is like, if they do nothing, it is like kind of opening the door to like, they're just going to keep fucking with you. But also, it's, I don't know, it's going to spin out, but, I just kind of wanted to bring up the fact that they also dropped all that shit about the IAEA, about Western countries working to advance or to help essentially Israel conceal or essentially have their nuclear program, supposedly being aware of their nuclear sites. So I don't know, we're in interesting territory, assuming Iran does have all the intel they claim to have. So. Yeah, see, Alcibon says, I just wish this guy was anonymous. Yeah, but I totally get why he's not, so. Scrolling through. Reminds me of that No Fire Zone documentary of when the CIA helped the Philippines military lure the Soviet-backed militants into a similar scenario for aid just to drop bombs on them. Yep. Yeah, exactly. I'm willing to accept this isn't technically genocide by definition, but what the fuck else do you call this? I mean, just mass murder. I mean, it's like... It's just so crazy. It's, even from the way back when people, it's not genocide. It's like, okay, cool, like whatever. You don't want to call it genocide. It's mass murder. Who fucking cares? The different, like genocide, mass murder. If anything, it's kind of gay. If you're like, well, it's not genocide, because it's like, okay, like so, what? You're waiting for a specific racial component to come into play or something in order for this to be like, what are you? Are you some faggot leftist? What is this? Like, no, there's a mass murder occurring. Like, who gives a shit about the demographic of who it's occurring to? Yeah. Really appreciate show, homie, says Jabrowski. Appreciate it, brother. Appreciate all the support from you guys lately. It's really meaned a lot. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I have been stressed lately. There's been a lot going on. I do feel like a weight's been lifted though, so it's nice in a lot of ways. So, but it is still just a lot. I don't know, a lot going on. So, pinpoint strikes, just like fewest civilians killed in ratio in history. Also, we don't have a number because we don't track civilians killed. Exactly. Yep. It's just all fucking lies. I mean, a lot of it's lies by omission, so they can be like, well, we're not technically lying. Oh, technically. Oh. Okay, you're lying. You're liars. You're a piece of shit. Like, I mean, you play these stupid fucking Jew games, this whole, like, because that is the thing. It always comes back to, like, oh, you got to consent, sort of. But it's like, but we didn't really. You're playing these silly Jew games. Like, no, you didn't really. You're fucking changing definitions. You're playing fast and loose with the truth. You're tricking people. It's not really consent. Like your stupid little fucking Jew. They're tiring, and we're over it. Like I don't know. It's like I don't know. Just like Israel with their 109 countries. Like I don't know. Just what the fuck. Let's keep going. Let's go to chat. Seeing everyone saying hi. Some people say the word genocide is distraction because people always end up just arguing about the definition of genocide, but the thing going on is still bad regardless. Exactly. Like, who fucking cares? Like, if there's a demographic, if there's something, like, that's such a leftist fucking instinct. That's kind of why I don't like the word, because it's very, in its essence, it's sort of like calls back to this faggoty race shit, because you're like, oh no, they're killing all the blacks, or they're killing all the Jews, they're killing all, like, okay, yeah, that's bad. Like, so like part of that's informative in the fact that like who they're killing, but there also is this like implication that like because it's them, it should be like, oh my god. You're like, no, like it's bad. Like, you can't kill people. But the idea that like, oh, because it's a specific demographic, I mean, whatever. Yeah, it's a forcible dispensation of their lands. The only reason it's not a genocide is because it's sandkikes. Exactly. 100%. Okay, one more on the foreign policy side things, sort of. I guess a judge ruled recently that a judge blocks Trump from continuing to detain Mahmoud Khalil over his political activism. So, not going to the details. That's another one of the articles on anti-war if you want to look into it. But hey, obviously that's a W. I think, not that I have any sort of like love for this guy particularly, but the idea that we're just going to start kicking people out of college that came over here the way that they were told that was the way to go about it, went over everything just fine, aren't really causing problems, aren't breaking laws. The only problems they're causing is they have disagreements with countries you don't like. Yeah, no, I think it's incredibly shitty to do this to them. So glad it's not happening. So, all right, on to some actual stuff. I just thought it'd be, I don't know, just kind of wanted to show you this. I guess Headline USA, i.e. The homie Ken Silva, has gotten a bunch of videos of crooks. So for those, it seems like the past, I don't know, few days, I keep having all these researchers, find all this different stuff. So I'm dropping all this new stuff, and Ken's no exception. I guess he's got a bunch of different, things, recordings from his community college. And so I don't know necessarily what could be gleaned out of these, aside from maybe getting a feel for the guy. But let's watch this video. I have no idea what's in it. And at the very least, you guys will get an idea of who this feller Thomas Crooks is. The one that we've still, apparently there's no there. The thing that Kash Patel really doesn't seem to care about getting to the bottom of at all. We really don't know why the fuck he did this. Anything. But let's keep going. Let's see what he has to say. Let's see what's this guy's about. What's he like? What can we interpret from how he presents himself? So let's go ahead and go.
Thomas Edison once said that all you need to invent is imagination and a pile of junk. Hello, my name is Thomas Crooks, and it has always been my passion to create and build things of my own. Today, I want to tell you a little bit about myself and my academic goals, my passion for building things, my love of cooking with my family, and lastly, what I hope to achieve in this course. I'm currently 18 years old and live in Bethel Park, Pennsylvania. My family consists of me, my mom and dad, my older sister, and our cat, Libby. I'm currently working towards an associate's degree in engineering science and plan to transfer to Pitt in 2 years for a bachelor's in mechanical engineering. Ever since I got my first Lego set when I was a little kid, I've always loved building and creating things. From model airplanes to gaming PCs to 3D printing, I've always had a passion for building things with my hands and problem solving. I also have an interest in technology, whether that be the latest computer technology, AI and robotics, or even cryptocurrencies. Outside of this, my family has always been a very important part of my life. And I don't think there's any better way to spend time with family than cooking meals together. Me and my mom have cooked.
You know what's sad? This guy's like literally me if I never got into like working out, like in like, I don't know, sports and stuff. Like this reminds me of like 12-year-old me. That's what it reminds me of. Cause yeah, I was a fucking weirdo. I was a weird ADD kid. I mean, you guys can probably tell that. I was a fucking weird kid. Like I was the weird kid on Ritalin, you know. I was a weird kid. Like I was peeing in the bed. Like I had weird fucking tics. Like I do shit like and just weird stuff. I was just fucking weirdo. And then I don't know, around like 12-ish, I just started fucking pretending I was taking my Ritalin and throwing the trash and I don't know. And then I also started getting into working out. I got really into powerlifting as a little kid. Actually, like a world record at 13. World in a federation. I mean, you kind of got to qualify it when it comes to powerlifting because it's like each has individual rules. It wasn't like an all-time world record, but within a specific major organization. So world record, world record in deadlift, American record in bench, and then I think I had the American squat as well. Anyways. Point being, as I could have turned out like this faggot. Let's keep going.
Cooked dinners together since I was a little kid. And on the holidays, everybody helps out in the kitchen. For Thanksgiving, me and my dad will cook turkey and mashed potatoes together. At Christmas, me and my mom will bake dozens of cookies together. And on New Year's Eve, my mom and I will bake the pork and the sauerkraut together. In this course, I really hope to improve my skills as a public speaker. I've never been particularly good at public speaking, especially in front of large audiences. And this course provides a good opportunity to improve my abilities in this regard. Furthermore, I know that public speaking is very important.
All right, I think it's enough. You guys get the idea. I just want to show you guys can go check out Headline USA or go check out Ken Silva's, either one of their Twitter accounts or Headline USA. I think probably headlineusa.com. I guess I don't know the exact site, but you can find it there. There's going to be another treasure trove of similar such things. So this is more really for other researchers out there, for those who want to dig into this. I don't know what really there is meaningful in it. It's just one of those things that you guys are going to have to dig through it. So, but it is interesting. That's out there. We got good people like Ken out there clawing out more information. So someone's asking this alien segment. No, we're getting there. We're getting there. You guys are being impatient. I'm going to fucking blue ball make y'all wait to the end. I'm going to do it like with my kids. Like the more you ask me, the longer I'm going to wait. Like if you keep like I told you I'd give you dessert, but you keep asking me, I'm going to keep making you wait. Okay? The aliens are dessert. So don't make me save it for tomorrow. There is no tomorrow, okay? Yeah, someone says, yeah, that's you, exactly. Yeah. Got all wispy. Yeah, exactly. I was in a nerd shit, but I always worked out and rode bikes, says Northside. Yeah. They put you in Ritalin. Did you ever snort it? No, I never snorted it. So King David said he also was the weird ADHD kid. Yeah. Okay. Scrolling through. Bring back the ticks. Is that what I'm going to do now? I'm going to go back to having weird fucking ticks. Is that my thing now? Jose is an awkward dork, but look at it worked out for you. I guess so. Yeah. I wrestled for 11 years. I was in the gym all the time. Helped keep me normal. Exactly, dude. I wrestled for like 3 years only because it was just I moved in high school halfway through, so it was like, so I only wrestled 1 year in middle school, and then when I was in Maine, the school there didn't have wrestling, so I wasn't able to. And then when I moved, I did wrestling. So yeah. You're still a weirdo, but you rock, brozo. Thank you. I am a weirdo, yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, damn, dude, those photos of the shooter's body really don't look like this guy. That is a good point. I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell because I'm pretty sure most of the photos were like from the back, weren't they? But yeah, it's and he says not saying it's not him, but fuck. Yeah, I get what you mean. It is I 100% what you gave me where it does look a little bit different. Does anyone remember a little after COVID came that seeing demon syndrome or something like that? Anything about it these days? I haven't heard anything about that. Although I'm not really like a woo-woo type guy, so like that might be. Well, I know we are beefing. That might be more up the Nephilim Death Squad type angle if that's your thing. So, all right. It says I moved to high school too. The school I went to was too small for wrestling teams, so I had to wrestle for different high schools. Retarded. I actually had the same exact thing too. Although the school I was in when I was in Maine was too small to have one or even have some sort of system to go somewhere else because it's like super small in Maine. I lived super rural in Maine. And then Tennessee, it was they were too small for it, but I then had to drive to a different school. Like we carpooled and we all went to it. So yeah. All right, let's get into this. This is from Falcor, the Wishmaker. This is remarks from Steve Witkoff. I have not watched this, so I have no idea the significance of this. But I had this bookmarked yesterday before shit went off and thought, maybe I'll go into it. But now I have a feeling this might actually be a little bit more of significance than I thought, considering today's events. It says, breaking special presidential envoy Steve Witkoff remarks on Iran as he is honored at United Hatzalah Gala. So this is Israel's national community-based volunteer EMS organization providing the highest level of care to all who need it free of charge, inspiring everyday heroes. So this is Steve Witkoff, the big old negotiator one there, the guy who's kind of been the orchestrator, I guess you could say, to some degree of everything that's going on negotiation-wise generally over there between Gaza, Iran, kind of really even a lot of Russia stuff. He's kind of like the point man. So let's see what he has to say.
About a great man who's not here tonight, but would have been if he could. Trump. His name is Donald J. Trump. Howard Lutnick I'm speaking about. By the way, me and Howard have a contest as to who's closer to the president.
Who won?
We arm wrestle over it every day. He's such a special man. He's an incredible friend to the Jewish people. No disrespect to Prime Minister Netanyahu, who I actually spoke to today. I think the President, Trump, could be the first sitting president who could also be the Prime Minister of Israel at the same time. President Trump's leadership has been unwavering in defending Israel's right to exist and thrive. From moving the U.S. Embassy to Jerusalem, to recognizing Israeli sovereignty over the Golan Heights, to signing the executive order protecting Jewish students on college campuses, President Trump has consistently demonstrated that he has been the strongest United States president ever for the people of Israel and the fiercest combatant of anti-Semitism, both at home and abroad. His steadfast commitment to Israel's security and his efforts to combat anti-Semitism have made a profound difference in the world, and we are all deeply grateful for that. The Jewish people should be proud to call him our president and leader in these critical fights, because there is no one more steadfast and stronger than him, as we witness every single day. We must also address the threat posed by Iran. Iran must never be permitted to enrich uranium or develop any nuclear capability.
Amen. Amen.
Keep in mind, this was posted on June 11th, so not yesterday, but the day before at 8:44. It does say breaking, so to be fair, I guess I don't know particularly when this happened. I'm just going to assume by the word breaking that was probably midday 2 days ago, but I am only saying that. I know it sounds silly explaining myself, but it is common practice because of stupid fucking grifters like Dom Lucra, or whatever the fuck his name is, that do dumb shit where they go breaking, and then it's not breaking like at all. So like it makes it so that like now people trying to get reliable news go, wait, what do you mean by breaking? Are you just trying to say some shit to get people to be like, oh my god, and then when it really means nothing? So the point being, so for the timeline of where things are at. So this was just 2 days ago. So let's keep going.
This is where I ad-lib. I get off the teleprompter and I say, I wish my 93-year-old Jewish mom from the Bronx was here because Yossi Cohen, the ex-head of the Mossad, just clapped for me. A nuclear Iran represents an existential threat to Israel.
That's an existential threat to Israel. There you go. That's going to be the angle. A nuclear Iran is an existential threat to Israel. This is why we need to carry out a preemptive strike. A nuclear Iran was simply unacceptable, and they've shown they were unwilling to move forward in any sort of deal. That is 100% going to be the angle. I mean, you guys have been watching the show for a while. I've gone pretty much into the minutia of kind of the back and forth negotiations. I think it's pretty clear. Seems to me they interacted in good faith. If anything, the belligerent actors were Israel and U.S. throughout. Ironically, the same thing applies to Gaza with Hamas. Hamas, who I'm not even sitting here trying to be like, this is an amazing entity. I'm sure they're probably head-chopping terrorists like they're being portrayed to be by Israel or whatever. But when it comes to being, having any sort of fucking honor, they take the cake. Isn't that crazy? Terrorists literally have more honor than our own fucking presidential administration. Although I guess that's not really saying a whole lot. And I guess that is kind of, let's be real. What's the difference between a terrorist and a president? Just the perception of the people. That's frankly it. That's the only fucking difference.
As does an Iran with a large amount of missiles. That is as big an existential threat as the nuclear threat.
Oh, they can't even have a large amount of
This is an
missiles?
existential threat to the United States and the free world and the entire GCC. We must stand resolute and united against this danger and ensure that Iran never obtains the means to achieve its deadly ambitions, no matter what the cost. During the horrors of October 7th, United Hatzalah lent its...
All right, that's all of that one. Wild shit, guys. I mean, I guess nothing really crazy in there. I'm just saying, you just think about like, oh, that was just 2 days ago, and you are the guy. Like if between Witkoff and Trump, those are probably like that. If like no one else knew about, if there were like only two people who knew about Israel's plans, they probably would be. That I can think of probably be Witkoff and Trump, given the role they play. So, yeah, I mean, this is that guy. So, say, oh, they got a lot of mythos with a wispy wisp. Yeah, I did say that. Yeah, I got a lisp sometimes, guys. I don't know what you want to tell me. I have a fucking retarded underbite. But boy, oh boy, you're gonna struggle to knock me out. So fuck you. You can talk about my lisp, but you ain't gonna be able to fucking knock me out. That's for goddamn sure. Fucking try it, bitch. Yeah, I would assume the lisp comes from my crazy overbite. Look at this sucker. This is me when I close my jaw. Look at this thing. It's crazy. All right, I shouldn't be shitting on myself. Especially there's audio listeners who are like, what are you doing? All right, guys, let's get into aliens. Aliens. I know everyone's excited about the aliens. All right. I made you wait. You guys have been good. You didn't bug me for dessert. You stopped. All right, here we are. Aliens. New York Post. It says, bombshell. Pentagon created fake UFO evidence, promoted false alien stories. I mean, let's be real. There's all sorts of stories of this. But let's see what they have here on this. There's a video and there's a story. So let's go through this together. Second, sorry.
This has gone public yet, but those technologies and amazing capabilities were designed by Americans and built, manufactured, and flown by Americans. Some of these things we have, my God, they look like Klingon death ships. Absolutely amazing. There was a lot of misbehavior by our government. We built these UFO cover stories to protect what we were really doing.
Just so I get it and I comprehend.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm having a hard time paying attention to the content here because the background music is like some like groovy ass elevator music. I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. You know, like you ever seen that meme with like the cat that does like the weird head bob thing? Like that's what I feel like inside right now. Sorry, I'm back up a little bit because I really wasn't paying attention.
Absolutely amazing. There was a lot of misbehavior by our government. We built these UFO cover stories to protect what we were really doing.
Just so I get it and I comprehend.
All right, stop. I'm just getting taken away by the music again. All right, we're back.
Sure. There was a fake program that was a flying saucer alien program.
Yeah, there was a false special access program. It wasn't real.
And you're saying that sums up what these whistleblowers have actually seen.
Exactly.
All right. Okay, well, it's a fun little video. I don't know. I mean, I really did get caught up in those. That's fucking wild. All right, bombshell. Pentagon created fake UFO evidence, promoted false alien stories. Here's a full video you can watch. So over the last 7 years, you've probably seen news headlines about multiple UFO whistleblowers who've come forward to claim the U.S. government is hiding the existence of alien technology. Inspired by these claims, in 2022, the United States Congress mandated the creation of the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, AARO, was asked to look into these claims, and they were given all the top-secret authorities they needed to look everywhere. In 2024, AARO released a detailed report in which they concluded there were no aliens, no alien technology, and no alien bodies. But what the public hasn't really heard yet is that when AARO went looking for the original source of false stories about the government hiding aliens, they discovered that in many instances, the source was the government itself. We interviewed Tim Phillips, a senior 45-year veteran of military and government service. He was a deputy director and at one point the acting of AARO. He was the tip of the spear of AARO's investigations. He said AARO tracked down every witness, every clue, and discovered the U.S. government was sometimes a source, creator, and promoter of false UFO stories, which they used to cover up their human-made top-secret technology. So they made a little video of it. You guys can go check this out. I mean, like I said, this isn't... I guess I'm kind of just giving you an update. They put this as like breaking, bombshell, whoa! But like, it sounds to me that this is like stuff we've known for a while. I mean, it's a little bit more. They have this like AARTO thing, like I said. I mean, they released a report last year saying that, and then they go, there's even the government to source a lot of this. And like, for those who've been, there's a great portion in Aberration in the Heartland of the Real where it goes into aliens and stuff. This is one of those episodes that I did, one of those many series or whatever they started and didn't finish. I started doing going into the alien stuff and using Wendy Painting's book as kind of a jumping off point. And then I think I got like part 1 done, and then I just never did part 2. So I don't know, maybe I'll come back to it at some point. But the point being is the degree to which this shit glows. I mean, there was the Dowdy story where I forget his name. I think he was the guy who was essentially gaslit by like feds into all sorts of craziness. I think he may even have ended up like killing himself or something crazy, but they drove this dude nuts. Also, like, because that's what they do. They have literally the Men in Black. That's a thing. That's a real thing. These are people who come. These reports. They come and find these UFO researchers. They go, we have something super secret to tell you. You're really on to something, and we're gonna have to get you to do this, and then we're gonna do that, and then you're clearly on to something that the U.S. government did, and we really need your help, and we're gonna feed you this documents, and this will help with your research, and blah, blah, blah. And they do this shit, and that way they can disinfo. They can fucking flood the field with disinfo. They can. And does that mean I'm saying there are no aliens? No. I mean, I don't really know one way or the other, but I can tell you the government's fucking lied to you about it both ways. So, I mean, or at least one way. I mean, maybe both ways. But they definitely have created fake alien bullshit, done it many times. Hell, even Bill Cooper is noted for, I believe, in Beyond a Pale Horse or Behold a Pale Horse or whatever the fuck. He even later on in that book, he goes into all his alien kooky shit, and then later, decades later, he goes into, I was fooled by the feds or some shit. So it's just common practice. This has been a thing for a while. This is a point I typically try to drive home. I mean, I really do think if you read Aberration in the Heartland of the Real, and you read that portion, the come away is like, there's not really any point in even really, frankly, putting much stock in any UFO anything. Because every bit of it, it's so fucking inundated with propaganda, and let's be real, it's kind of one of those, I don't know, maybe they know this, it's like this fun little area that people like to have fun with. That's fine, I'm not saying don't have fun with it, I'm just saying don't get lost in the sauce. Like, if you want to have fun with it, but like if you're like someone who's like treating it like you would the Oklahoma City bombing or the Vegas shooting, you're spiraling looking for, and you're trying to like get to the bottom of shit, you're going to lose your fucking mind if you do it with UFOs. I mean, go ahead, be my guest. But, you are going to be wading through so much fucking bullshit info that you're just not going to be able to, make out your elbow from your asshole type deal. So it is frankly ridiculous. So it's kind of an understatement the way they're selling this. But like I said, go check out Aberration. It really does sell the point. Let's go through this great chat. See what you guys are saying. Either Lisp has gotten better since I've been listening, or you just don't hear anymore. I think I've gotten better about it, actually. I think I've just gotten from doing streams over and over again. I just think I've just been, I don't know, just minor things, just maybe moving my lips more, just little things that I've just been better at avoiding it and not even thinking about it. I think it's literally just it's like going to the gym. I'm doing this. I've been doing these daily streams for a while now. These Monday through Friday, give or take, type thing. So I think it's just getting better. So, but whatever. There's always going to be a little bit of a lispiness there. So, all right, Doty, not Dowdy. That was the Mirage Man. He was the Mirage Man. Okay, so I got it backwards. I forget who the guy was the target. So, Doty was one of the Mirage Men. They call them Mirage Men, Men in Black, whatever. Yeah. All right, guys. Went through a lot. There was a lot today. I think we kind of hit it all. I thought there'd be more in that one. Sorry. I guess I assume there's a New York Post link. It would link to a story, not like a summary for what was a video. But I mean, we got made for an interesting little discussion. I thought there'd be more stuff there. But for those who want to support what I'm doing over here, leave a like, share, subscribe, comment. By the way, if you do want to, I'm doing an outro. Not as wholesome today. I'm just going to play some J stuff. But if you do want to stick around, there'll be a fun little outro. But if you do want to support the show, like, share, subscribe, comment, leave a 5-star review on iTunes or Spotify. You can follow me on Twitter at TowerGangJose. I'm trying to think. I feel like I forgot something out of all that stuff. If you want to directly support the show with old money, I like money. Patreon.com/NoWayJose2020 is the way to do that. The lowest level, you get the $2. I've been doing 1 to 2 a week lately. I only did 1 this week because I don't know. I just needed a day. So I'll pick back up to the 2 next week. So sorry, apologies to the patrons, but you still got like multiple other ones. And I also forgot to upload what was supposed to be the episode for today. But it works out since I only recorded 1 anyway. So there'll only probably be 1 episode. I'll probably do 2, drop 2 of the paid wall for the public tomorrow or next week to make up for only recording 1 this week. And we'll be back on it. But yeah, typically it's 1 to 2. Who knows? I may even make it more since I think Wednesdays are probably going to perpetually be open again. So I don't know. I'm going to have a lot more time to work with going forward. Also, just want to let you guys know this, like usually roughly 4 or so behind the paywall. So you're getting weeks of paywall content. Also get access to a ad-free RSS feed. And you also can get priority to the call-ins and also get access to the pre-show on Already Dead, which is me and Austin Picard's weekly live call-in show, which is on Tuesdays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Highly recommend if you have any questions or just want to shoot the shit with the homies to pop in then. And if you do want to directly, or I'm retarded. And for those at the highest level, I show them out every week as a big thank you to them. My co-host used to be my co-host in Terror Gang, at Terror Gang Toad, also at Abrogate D's. Also, I think he's like at Learn to Toad, so I guess I gotta change that. And at Abrogate D's, at ZOVRACK, at _Infant Zeal, Tim Tuttle, at Jolly on Klebold, miss you, buddy. Will Bell's Delicious Blueberry Rabbit Eye Wine, big fan of the show, Torme, and then Jordan Pearson. With that, guys, I love y'all. We're gonna get out of here. Deuces. Playing a video real quick. Don't leave. I'm gonna give you a little outro here. Let's play this. This is all right. Let's go and play. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Here we go. All right, see y'all.
Sneak into a Zionist expo in New Jersey where Americans can invest in prime real estate in Palestine. No admission for Palestinians. Stick around as we uncover some property steals that are absolutely shocking.
So many different services around here. We're seeing financial services, passport services, real estate, and you can't hear the protesting outside at all.
This is a Jewish-only event and filming is prohibited, but we recorded secretly so that you wouldn't miss out on all these amazing deals, some of which are so good they break the Geneva Convention. If you're lucky enough to have a Jewish great-grandpa like Rain, you too can make Aliyah, become an Israeli citizen, and enjoy some absolutely colonial property deals.
You're just out in Mali Adumim, is there a difference between that and, say, Tel Aviv?
No, Israel is a very small place.
Israel is such a small place that the illegal settlement of Mali Adumim isn't in it. And boy, are the deals on that Palestinian land to die for.
When you buy the first property in Israel, you can get 0 purchase taxes the first 2 million shekels. You can get loans from the government. Can help you with banks.
They're trying to encourage people to go to certain places. Are they a little bit further out, past the green line?
Yeah, they want to encourage you.
Too impatient to do Aliyah and become an Israeli citizen? Don't worry, Israel has a loophole just for you over the green line, otherwise known as Palestine.
If you're buying over the green line, like in Mali Adumim, and then you're neither Israeli resident nor a citizen, there is no purchase tax to pay at all. Because the Jordanian law applies there, there's no purchase tax or capital gains like the Jordanian law.
That's right, Israel is using loopholes to sell Palestinian land to foreign bidders by exploiting a Jordanian tax law, which is a bit like admitting that it isn't really Israel.
Because the demand is there, and they expect the demand to really go up.
You need more place where people live.
I mean, and
the land doesn't grow.
I mean, it doesn't grow unless we get hold of Gaza. Then we have a nice Trump. Then we have a nice Trump hotel, and then we have a nice golf course.